was very good throwing the ball. It was just the situations. We were terrible on third down. So that kept us, from maintaining drives. And then we didn't do a good job in the red zone. And then the third downs. That red zone, we were 1 for 3, but there was 2 drives where we're right outside of the red zone, and the drive stopped. One time, obviously we weren't able to kick a field goal. The other time we did. And so when you move the ball the way that we did, and you feel like you have successful plays, it's just frustrating when you don't score. And that's really what it came down to. There's always plays here and there, you'd like to change. That's going to happen. It's part of football. But the thing it really comes down to with us is just, managing, those situations. I mean, you can't go 1 for 11 on third down and expect to score a lot of points.
Asked on this too, and I know a lot of it's dictated by game circumstance and the flow of the game, but generally, would you like to get Brian Robinson the ball more, just get it in his hands more?
Yeah, he was doing really well. I mean, 12 carries. You look at it and you say, man, we really should have given him the ball more than that. We've been on the field a lot, and we've had a lot more plays. We had 58 plays, I think. Some of the situations in the game at the end there, especially, were kind of in a 2-minute type mode. So when you look at it and you come out of there, 26 runs, 29 passes, that's pretty balanced. Some of those, because of Brian and how he was running, looking back at it, yeah, you would have liked him to touch it more.
When you look back and think something like that, how do you make sure that you make that adjustment in the future? Is that something you just keep top of mind?
Yeah,
or
he had a lot of his carries in the first half, obviously. Came out in the third quarter. We came out 5 passes and the reverse to Diami and scored. You know what I mean? Went down the field. Had the 3 and out the next drive where we had a shot on the flea flicker, almost hit it. And then he had a couple carries after that. It's just those drive. And then we had kind of big play drives that stalled. So our drives weren't the drives we've kind of had in the past that have been those 12, 15 play drives. We were more that 6 to 8, play, and those are big chunk plays. Then all of a sudden, you go and get to a third down and you don't convert, and you're off the field. So when you have longer drives, obviously there's more opportunities to hand it off. But again, I got to be aware of that and get him some carries.
You guys have had some trouble in the low red zone as well. Is that something where you need Taylor to, I guess, make a step forward in terms of passing, or do you need to run it more? What do you?
It's a combination. It's not so much a step forward. Sometimes there's going to be some tight windows, and you got to give a guy a shot, to make a play. We got to make sure we're doing what's best, for our guys as far as getting people open. And then, yeah, we can, you could look at some of those and run it more, as well. And that's what we're talking about too. Like, there's some opportunities there where B-Rob could have got some shots there.
Do you find that red zone issues and third down issues can be like connected? Like, if you were to pick it up in one area, you could maybe have that carry over into the other area?
Well, especially the third downs that are in the red zone. I mean, a couple of those were issues. Obviously, we had the fumble. We had the one that before the last play of the game. Those are 2 of them. Before the field goal, what I mean? So yeah, those are connected. I mean, it's just those situations, those crucial situations in games where, you can move as much as you want, but those are the difference in points, whether it's 4 and 3 or, 7 or 3, a 4-point difference, or again, we turn the ball over on third down, which gets you nothing.
When Taylor was put in and Carson had some of the sack issues, the thought was Taylor's a little more mobile, maybe be able to avoid sacks. But in the past couple of weeks, there's been an uptick in that. Can you put your finger on why there's been some issues there?
Yeah, a couple of them. Now, it was actually good to see Taylor get a couple, get some runs. A couple of them were design runs, and then he had the one scramble. So that was good just to see him move that. And a couple was just he got caught holding the ball. He tried to escape, and they corralled him a couple of times. There was ones where he didn't have much of a chance. He's trying to get the ball out, and they got to us. But no, it's just him, kind of going through the progression, and it's not coming out. That was more so the first game. This one, he's trying to make a play.
Taylor was saying about how New York's cover 2 in the red zone kind of pulling up the quote here. So he said it was tough to find holes, and that, like, some of the plays that you guys called were tough to beat cover 2 with?
Yeah,
Just
so
cur-
I mean, what they did is they put guys back in the end zone. They rushed 4, and when you get down there, obviously there's less space, So guys got to work a little bit, and that's kind of what I was talking about, where the windows, they're going to be a little tighter, and you got to give, there's some certain times where you got to give guys a chance to go make a play.
Is that something that you're seeing as the game goes along, or is that something you see kind of more after watching the film?
We saw it. I mean, we saw it as the game goes along, and that's something that we've seen, in the past as well.
The way the game ended, the late night, now the quick week turnaround. I know every week you try to turn the page and move on to the next one. Was this a particularly unique challenge in getting them to flush what happened?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough game. I mean, we knew, the magnitude of the game going into it. It's a division opponent. We're obviously disappointed because we felt like there were things that we could have done. There's some opportunities for us to win that game. The players were off. What day is today? Wednesday. Players were off on Monday. We brought them in, midday yesterday. So, as coaches, we turned the page. We looked at what we needed to look at, turned the page, and no one's going to feel sorry for us. It's a typical NFL deal. I mean, we got another big one coming up against a really good team on the road. So. You can't let this one beat you twice. It's unfortunate. It's frustrating, but it's part of life in this league, and you're going to deal with ups and downs, and how you respond to adversity is going to be the true test of kind of how your season goes.
Scott, we asked you about Brian Robinson's carries. He also got fewer snaps than Antonio, and that can happen, but it was like a fairly decent amount. Was that just game flow as well, pass protection?
A little bit, yeah, like you're saying, game flow. Part of that with, when you get at the end of the game, kind of those passing situations, Antonio's going to be in there a little bit more. So that's what I would say it would be. That's the reason for that.
And for Carson, just curious how he's been looking in practice, and also independent of what you may or may not do at that position, how can you tell when a guy is coming off, he's been out for a while, that he is actually ready to go beyond just throwing the ball in practice?
I think, Carson's a pro. He's played a lot. It's just as long as whenever he was physically ready, I think, he's ready to go if we need him. So, we have confidence in Carson. If we need to play him, that he's going to be able to step in and go. Finger looks good as far as that goes. He's throwing the ball just like he was at the beginning of the season.
One on last week, one on this week. What are the mechanics, as you understand them, for an official to verbally tell a player, yes, you're good, or no, you're not good?
Okay. So, it is ultimately, the player's job to line up. There's no, rule that says the official has to help the player line up. If you watch games, I've been around this league for a long time, they do, I don't know if I'm saying anything I should or shouldn't be saying. I'm just telling the truth. Terry felt like he had the understanding that he was on. I guess that's not what the official said. I don't know. Ultimately, they threw the flag. My message to our guys, and it's not just to Terry, and it's not just about penalties, was we have to control what we can control. And there's nothing that we can do about what any of those extracurricular things. If you get caught up in that, all it does is take away from your focus of doing the best job you possibly can to go win. So I don't know. I mean, that's the best answer I can give you for that. It was unfortunate, but it's over with, and we just got to make sure we don't give them any reason to call any flag. We got to be clean. We got to play a clean game, and that's ultimately you got to put the responsibility on your shoulders, and that's what we have to do moving forward.
For this game coming up, I'm not asking you for the game plan, but how important will it be to kind of stick with run discipline, because the chances of being 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8 against that front are, may be pretty consistent this game?
Yeah, it's not even just the front. I mean, obviously the front's really good, but they're a really good defense. They've been playing together for a long time. They're very well coached. Coach Ryans does a great job with those guys. They play hard. They all fly to the ball. It's an impressive group, and we got to, that's what I'm saying. We got to forget about this last one, and we got to get ready to go get on this plane and go play against a really good defense, because they ain't going to feel sorry for us, So they're going to be coming after us. we gotta be physical. We gotta run the ball. We'll be able to take our shots. When we get them, when they come up, ball's got to come out of our hand. We got to do a great job getting vertical when we get the ball, and every single yard is going to be at a premium because they don't give up a lot of them. They give up the fewest in the league. So, it's a challenge, and our guys will be up for it, and I know they'll bounce back from this last game, and be ready to go.
Going back to the red zone and Brian Robinson, I think he only has the one carry inside there aside from that play.
Yeah.
So is there something with his game where he needs to I guess kind of graduate to being more of an option down there? Is there anything with that?
No, I mean it was just play calling. I mean we gave the ball to Curtis. Felt good about it. Got a yard on it. 2nd and 9, we throw the ball. That was that other drive. I'm trying to think through the rest of the plays. The other time around the red zone, we threw a touchdown pass from the 19, which was our first in there. I mean, that's just kind of how the plays come up. That's on me to just have him more in the forefront of my mind of, because of how physical and dominant runner he is, where, we get down in there, give him a chance.
Because it's looking at the last several games too. It's like that's one. Then also with Logan Thomas was such a key threat there in the past, hasn't developed that way. What's going on there?
Some things, a lot of it, when you get into some of the play action pass stuff, the tight ends are in and the protection. We've been doing some of that. It's just kind of do some stuff where, potentially maybe we're helping on some. We played some pretty good pass rushers where the tight ends are helping with the line, and then there's a couple plays where we've had them. Maybe the ball just hasn't necessarily gone his way. Just kind of the flow of the game has been with them. It's, those guys, and I don't know exactly what you mean what they do because they play basically, they're not overly complicated. They do enough stuff to make you work, but they're really smart players. They're fast. They're instinctual, and they communicate well together. They're just really good players, and they do their job well. They're not tricking you. You know what I mean? They're just playing hard and playing well. Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, just because maybe teams playing more in 12. I mean, they won't stay in base. I mean, they do sometimes to like 11 personnel, but no, it's just those two in particular. They don't really go dime. Greenlaw and Warner, they don't leave the field, and they can cover guys. So they don't really feel like they get mismatches on tight ends and stuff.
Just from working with Christian McCaffrey in Carolina, what does having a guy like him? What does it do for you as a father?
Christian's a great guy. Loved having him in Carolina. Tough player, really smart. I mean, just look at what he was able to do with how much he does for them, and he just got on their team. He's a guy that's just super versatile as far as he can catch it, he can run it, he's tough. He allows you to do a lot. A lot of different things because he can play a lot of different spots.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy holidays.
Thank you.